I give my best when I believe what I'm doing, when I believe what I'm saying. I don't get the best out of myself by telling myself to be perfect. That doesn't work for anyone as far as I know. That results in nervous breakdowns and a lot of stress, and that happens in theater a lot because we're striving for perfection as artists. That happens in art a lot. But what I've learned in theater, specifically as a director, is that the best comes out of my students, my cast, when they believe in the story they're telling, when they believe in why their character is doing what they're doing, if they care about it. So I do a lot of things in my process to bring it up in conversation a lot. Instead of just directing where to go and how to say it or doing line readings or things like that, I want to talk to the person and say, well, if it was you, how would you feel about that? And usually we have to stop and be like, oh, if it was me, oh, there's a stop recalibration that happens. Instead of acting, then you are digging into an experience of compassion for a person that is going through that. So instead of pretending like you're going through that, you have a connection to your character now, or a connection to the story you're telling. And that, in my experience, brings the best out of an actor on stage. Also, it's important to dig into the story before you start telling it. Like, understand why you picked the show. The cast needs to understand why you picked the show. You could have picked the show because you only have 7 boys and 15 girls in your cast, and you needed a show that had 7 boys and 15 girls. Well, and that's fine, but then you have a responsibility as a director to read that show and find what in that show is going to speak to those 7 boys and 15 girls, so that when they hear the story, they can be like, oh, that was fine. Or they can be like, oh, I love that story. Or I love that character. Sometimes we do a thing with scripts where they read the script before the auditions. Say, which is your favorite character and why? Which character would you be? Not for the sake of a role, but which character do you like the best? Which character would be the most fun to play? Which character would be the hardest to play? And start to talk about the nature of the people in the story as opposed to the nature of the role on stage. That to me brings the best out of people, because then there's nobody that's like, well, I'm sad because I didn't get the lead because I wanted the lead and I deserve a lead. Instead of that, you deal with someone who's in the chorus, but every bit believe that their character is every bit as important in that story as the person who is playing the lead, That's really important to me as a director, so that we're telling a story together, and it's not just me that knows the story and you that do what I say. I've had directors like that. And that's fine. Everybody does their own way. But that's mine.